Well, howdy folks. I thought I'd do just another quick cooking video. I wasn't going to because when I do a cooking video, I got to put on pants. But when I put on pants, I'm usually armed. Just in case you got those coming in to get your food. That's all I'm saying. See what I'm saying? See that? See that? So what we're going to do is, this is a quick hack. I think it keeps keto people in a place that's just about the carb, at the top of the carbs. But I've used products like this for the last 5.5 years as I've dropped 160 pounds, not on a regular basis. I don't know if I really believe the fiber mathematics and everything, but this is actually a fairly good product right here. So if you're keto, so that's what I got going on there. I'm going to be using one of my favorite butters right here to toast those buns. I didn't have biscuits. I was going to do steak and butter gals rolls, carnivore rolls. Maybe I'll just do a whole series of her recipes so we can see how me, that's not good at baking, can actually do her recipes. I'm thinking about doing that. And then we got uncured thin sausage from Wild Fork. Okay, that's going to be, so we're doing sausage and gravy. Sausage and gravy. I'll be adding just a little bit of my favorite fat hack, which is right there. Throws in some nutrition with the fat right there. That's Parker County Beef Company tallow. They're my favorite beef company here in Texas. They're local, Springtown. They will ship their beef, I think, nationwide. You can find them on the interwebs. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to butter these up and get these toasted. I've got my pan heating up here. It's just that this burner has problems, and sometimes I do okay with it, and sometimes I don't. Okay, so we would just have to play that one by ear. I'm going to cut these in half so that way we can cover the plate really nice, as though you would with a biscuit. Okay, biscuits and gravy. Okay. So we're going to just open these up. Start to get these. I gotta watch that burner. One time, or actually, it started to malfunction when I was doing the pizza video. If I put it any lower, then it goes to high. Matter of fact, I'm going to turn it off because it's probably just hot enough for me to be. We're going to put some butter here. Some butter here like that. We're just going to let that sizzle on there. Yes, I washed my hands, just if you're wondering. I just did dishes, and in a small apartment, you do dishes by hand. Just so you know. That's how you do dishes in a small apartment. You do them by hand. So you definitely end up with clean hands. I'll be leaving the butter in the pan. I'm actually going to do everything in my cast iron pan. I'm going to do everything in my cast iron pan. And if you are a carnivore, you know this is a treat. Oh man. The best butter. What did I do with the baggie? Sorry, I stepped out of the frame. Had to grab a baggie. Das Baggy, yeah. Yeah, got a baggie. Wonder if I touched it or not. There's really not a lot to this. It's just making sure that, so I already have the oven at 200 to keep these warm. This is going to go pretty fast. We're going to open this up now. This is raw, so you got to cook it real good. All right. Okay. See that? Okay. I'm not a big pork eater. Well, I'm pretty big, but so if I'm eating pork, I'm probably would be considered a big pork eater. But I don't eat a lot of pork. And there we go. We have buttered. I'm going to turn this back on. Now we can let that heat up. And I'm just gonna cut this down. I'm just going to take my knife, cut it down. Whoops. You know, when I was chefing, stuff fell on the floor. You know what? I had dishwashers. I started off as a dishwasher. I started off as a pot washer, dishwasher. Learned the ways of a fine dining restaurant under a really good chef, high dollar chef. I really should have sharpened this knife. I'm surprised. One day I'll have really nice knives. We don't necessarily need it in the casing, right? I think I like getting it out of the casing more better. What do you think? In the casing, out of the casing? I think we're having a combination of both right now. See, and this is going to, out of the casing, it's going to break up really, really nice. And it's going to be easier to cook. I didn't realize it was going to be so easy to get it out of the casing. Some sausage is not. So most of this is going to be out of the casing. All right, let's keep this right going. Almost there. Yeah, baby. Get that out of the casing right there. Isn't it? See that? Just kind of squish it out. It got squished in. Now it's getting squished out. Squished in, squished out. That's all we're doing. Squish it in, squish it out. That's how they make sausage. They squish it in, and now we're squishing it out. So yeah, I guess I had a love for food. That's why I was always fat. I'm surprised with my sugar addiction, I didn't get a love for baking. You would have thought I would have got a love for baking, but I'm not good at baking, and I shouldn't confess that over myself, but so far I've proved that to be the fact of my life, is that I'm not good at baking. But that's why I think doing a steak and butter gal, see if I can do her recipes for you guys, that a regular guy that's not good at baking can actually do the recipes. So I think that'd be a good series. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is actually so easy. This is probably the hardest part is getting the sausage out of the casing. It really isn't that hard. It's just squishing it out, a little time consuming. But guess what? That's all done, right? See that? And we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. I'm just going to run some hot water over these things, get these things started, because we're going to need to clean them. This raw sausage is raw sausage. You won't be messing around with raw sausage. Okay? See that? I'm going to chop this up. Pick up this stuff I dropped on the floor. Wash my hands. I use Dawn and bleach together. Very hot water. I'm going to be putting a cup of water in the pan. About a half a cup of water in the bowl. Okay. See that? That's the Pioneer. The Pioneer is the easiest. There's a couple of them out there, but the Pioneer is the easiest one to work with. And I think the best tasting. Now, I like my pepper gravy to be peppered gravy. That's one that they don't put enough pepper in their gravy. None of them do. But that's why we have pepper. So we're going to do like that. We're going to make sure that our sausage is going to be cooked. Because you got to cook. This is pork, man. You got to cook your pork. You got to cook that pork, buddy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some really good fat. You can also use this and put it on your face and then wipe it off a little bit later because it's really good for your skin. So I just put a little, I love it. I love it. This is, if you're looking for tallow, if you're a carnivore and you're looking for tallow, this is it, man. I've tried different tallows, and Harper County Beef Company, it's family owned, it's a slow process. Not trying to get things done in a super large scale. Make sure, like I said, you gotta make sure pork is cooked. That's one of the reasons why I don't like to use pork a lot, because you know I do beef. I'm a beef carnivore guy, and that's got to be rare. I don't want any bad things happen to me from pork. But this was very inexpensive. Now remember, wild pork is actually very inexpensive when it comes to getting your meat products. And so I walked out of there with about 20 pounds of meat products. Maybe 25 pounds of meat products for $150. I mean, that's 20 days of eating. Let me show you here. Can you see that? See that? Did you see that? Oh, hey, you know what I found? I found the baggie for the butter. I was just seeing if I could switch that around to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Yes, sir. I'm going to put about a cup of water. I will actually use a measuring cup. And it really, honestly, it doesn't. You can let it cook down anyway. Let that heat up real good. Let that water heat up real good. You gotta have that water to a boil, so it really mixes in well. It'll also help. See, it's also taking up all the stuff off the pan, all that flavor, and it's also helping to make sure that the pork sausage is cooked all the way through. I'm still seeing some pink here and there. I don't like it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our slurry to the pan. And I can use a metal whisk because this is a cast iron pan. See that? So I went to the other view because I want you to see this. See how that thickened up? That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Look at that. There's your biscuits and gravy. Except we're using keto hot dog buns. But look at that. Shine, the thickness. I've turned off the heat. We're just going to let that sit. If you think it's too thick, I don't ever think it's too thick. I like it. I like my country gravy thick. But man, look at that. Is that something or what? That looks good. This is gonna be a good, quick dinner. Okay, so we can put the water bottle back. That's exactly how I want it. Like, that's as thick as I want it. I'm going to take it off the heat. To me, that is good. Like I said, I like it thick. Okay. And we're going to get our buns out of the oven. Because biscuits, you got to have some kind of bread, biscuits. Like I said, if I'm going to do I'll do a series of recipes from Steak and Butter Gal and see how her recipes come out. Okay. See that? Now we're going to take our spoon. It's been hanging for a while, so I'm just going to rinse it off, and then I'm going to wipe it off just to, I like to make sure everything is good for the person eating. It's all safe. Safety first, man, when it comes to food. I got this. You're like, look at that weird colored spoon. Yeah, I got it at Dollar Tree. I got a whole. It was a whole set for $1 when Dollar Tree was $1. Was Dollar Tree, and the spatula finally gave out because I use that spatula all the time. It finally broke down. But man, I got that stuff when I moved into the apartment in 2018. So you're talking 8 years. All right, folks. What do you think about that? I will go to the table and get a really good picture of it. All right, let's see what we did here. Mmm. Mmm. The flavor on this is extraordinary for such a quick meal. You know, semi-processed stuff, but not processed. So it's quick, it's efficient, it's in a budget, and it's good. I love you. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.